You know, like, you'll be the first person that I'm gonna disclose this with you right now.
Yeah?
So this is the first time you guys hear that. But, you know, a lot of people, I hear a whole lot of music and it's like, you know what, I'll do this and whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when you just come from beating a case like I recently just did.
This is one of those stories that never started. This is one of those stories that never started.
Yo, Kid MX, listen to what we did, bro.
Fire emoji, 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 fire emoji. So much sauce on me, my life suddenly get off. Brand new whip, looking like I might just lift off. Fire emoji, fire emoji.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back once again. It's Webb11, Wandile Webb, coming to you live from an undisclosed location. I'm chilling here with a very special guest once again. I'm chilling with somebody who is international because we stories from the World Wide Web. And this is a podcast where we get change makers, hustlers, entrepreneurs, generational curse breakers to come and share their stories so that you can get inspired from their story. And today we're chilling with a hip-hop and R&B extraordinaire. You know, we call him, the Nizzie Nova. He's the supernova. This man raps, this man sings, this man composes, he arranges, he's a record.
I'm music.
He's music. He embodies music. And bro, first of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nizzie Nova to Stories from the World Wide Web podcast. I must say, first of all, I'm a fan. Thank you so much for blessing the world with such beautiful music.
I'm humbled, and thank you very much for having me. So we keep it going.
Dog, you kind of look like Jadakiss, you know that, right?
I've heard that a lot. If it's not Jadakiss, it's Maggz. Maggz. You remember Maggz?
Maggz. Oh shit.
If it's not that, it's Mike Tyson.
Mike.
You know, when do I start looking like me?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, bro, coming from humble beginnings, we're talking, you hail from, Khuma, which is, one of the most dangerous townships around, Cloud Town. And I want to know how was, growing up in that kind of environment, what were you exposed to? And how was it, living back then?
Okay, firstly, I normally have advice for people like, don't go there.
Oh shit.
But in any case,
you have a song saying come here.
I know.
Como Khuma.
I know. But what does the song say, But in any case, look, there's a lot of gang related stuff in where I'm from. And we grew up where you have to take part of that, but you grow from it at one point. Some people don't, some of us do, but
you grow from it.
Yeah, you grow from it. I mean, you leave it behind,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, look, there's a lot of stuff that happen around there that can actually change your life in many ways. Like, it all comes down to the individual, how you view things and how you want the world to perceive you and so forth. But yeah, it's a very violent place. That I must say, I mean, when you go to Joburg and you tell a lot of guys like, hey, yo, come through this way, and they're like, we're not going there. That's when you know. And when you're in places like Cape Town, you're like, yo, of a place in Klerksdorp, they're like, I'm not familiar. And you're like, what about Khuma? They're like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? So, but a big shout out, and I grew up around there. First and foremost, I respect the place and I respect what my parents, did for us growing up. And at the end of the day, you make your own decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you actually were exposed to music at the age of 6.
Yeah.
And the artist in you came alive at 10 years old.
Yeah.
And you actually started, messing with the music, dropping here and there.
Yeah.
You dropped a couple of tapes. You dropped, I don't know what was the first one, but
my very first one was verse 2.
Verse 2.
Yes. You see, now that I think about it, there's like maybe a psychological effect to my music. 'Cause everything, Nizzie Nova, like a new person, Verse 2 is like a new chapter. But yeah, it was verse 2, produced by Pope Don Paul. And you know what, like from meeting Pope the first time when I did that mixtape, it was like, it got me off a whole lot of bad influences in the streets,
Oh, shit.
So I then spent a whole lot of time just focused on the music, more like 24/7, so it was a great way to go about life. Yeah.
And how was the music being received? How were you guys actually distributing? Were you like, was it a word of mouth type of thing? Were you battling? Was it ciphers type of thing? What was going on?
Look, man, like, you know how guys rob people on the corner? So you had to buy my tape on the corner, what I'm saying? But in any case, look, we distributed it like, like basically I would walk around with a backpack and, distribute it personally, like hand out and so forth. That's the best way we could possibly do it back then, because, such thing as Wi-Fi or, like some data that goes like, beyond these days wasn't available as such back then.
So you had to
find a way. That's why I look at how things are now, like it doesn't have a blueprint, I can't find it because we only had CDs to distribute it, We kick it old school, take the CDs right there, spray paint them all, and go about it.
Interesting. And I believe when you were like 19, you looked into starting one of your own movements in terms of like, an independent record label.
Yes.
6 Squad.
Yes.
You had Pope himself in that. What are the plans? Like, is that still in the picture?
Look,
what are the plans with that?
With 6 Squad, we're still there. It's just that I've focused a whole lot of time on myself. But yeah, the gang is still there, everybody's still there. 6 Squad is corporate in a way, we do have directors in that as well. Shout out to Mel, shout out to Wanda, shout out to Pope as well as one of the directors. We eased off with that for a bit. The thing is, I started having certain family obligations as well as focusing on myself as an artist. So, but with future plans, there are some in the pipeline, but we haven't put them down as to what the way forward is. I think when we start putting them in a nutshell, perhaps I'll have an interview with you exclusively.
Yeah. Shout out.
For sure.
And you were pretty young. You were pretty young, bro, at the time when you conceptualized the whole thing. To have like something to actually start to push other guys. You already had the vision at such a young age.
Yeah.
And that vision took you from dropping everything that you dropped.
Yeah.
And when you were 21, you actually made it on one of the biggest stages, in one of the biggest international hip hop festivals at the age of 21. Not many people can say that early into their career. That's when you actually kind of took off.
Yeah.
So what kind of doors did that experience actually open for you?
Look, besides being the first from Klerksdorp or Northwest, there's a whole collective. Not Northwest, there's guys like Kulich and...
Sorry, I didn't get to mention the festival, Back to the City.
Yes.
He actually made his debut at Back to the City at the age of 21. So yeah, man. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, it was a thrilling experience. I mean, it opened doors like Metro FM as well. It got me to collaborate with guys like DJ Robin Island, who's actually the owner of Senel. You know, not to name drop or anything, but it got me closer to a lot of guys who were doing big things like DJ Ken Zero, a brother of mine, Bongani, as well. Bongani Mtisi, but Bongani is like in the corporate world. I mean, we talking big boys now. But so he gave me an influence into introducing music into what's happening in the mainstream and so forth. Like, in a way, opening my ears and mentoring me in a sense, But further than that, it opened a whole lot of doorways. I mean, like, you get guys now that are able to get their music videos out on Channel O as well from Klerksdorp, ever since Pursuit of Happiness dropped there, You get guys who are from Klerksdorp as well that can now, be in the big screen with the, like, majors and so forth. So, in a sense, opening a doorway in order to show others that, it's possible was the main mission at hand. And there's a lot of kids out there doing it now. So it's I think it's mission complete,
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
I love that. And speaking of some of the music that you've dropped, you mentioned Pursuit of Happiness. I believe that was the first time that you actually got rotation on national TV.
Yes.
And you actually followed with a single called Back It Up.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the first time you actually got a taste of, international collaboration.
Yes.
With CD Run. And how did that deal work out? What was the agreement there?
Look, with CD Run, it was mainly a distribution, but it was going through like Italy, US as well, and London, India, and so forth. And it got me awareness around there, starting platform, and to actually have people believe in you and they haven't met you, and it also expanded one's mind, like, from where I'm from versus this, it's like, wow,
bro, like the connect from coming from Khuma
exactly,
and being internationally recognized. You actually signed right now to AMG, Sony.
Yes.
What kind of deal do you have there going on?
Look, it's more of a, let me say, a freelance partnership. Like, I come in when I want to in order to drop whatever I want to, but we haven't dropped anything since Fire Emoji, because I also felt like pending things a little bit, because I saw that I can actually do most things that are offered out there in the world today, But as far as anything, I got guidance from one of the greatest producers out there, Mark Berry. Mark Berry. You remember the movie Coach Carter, right?
I remember Coach Carter.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He's one of the producers from that. Drake's Homecoming documentary. He's one of the producers from that as well. But 36 times award-winning producer. I mean, like that's big, to get people like that to recognize you and say, hey, let's work together, But it also gave me the possibility that possible things can actually happen. However, I decided to also just put it on freeze for a little bit, just to work around certain aspects and certain things. Because it happened after directly when I was about to leave for the USA, because I worked with Fred McKnight. You know Brian McKnight, the R&B singer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, his brother, basically. We were supposed to go that side to make an album, go on tour whatsoever from Texas, LA, and so forth. However, COVID hit, so Yes, so that's where things are at the moment, but we're still pushing and we're still going forward, you know. Forward is the mission. Yeah.
I'm having conversations with people in Canada and Texas.
Exactly.
Me and you different exes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You wasn't lying.
I wasn't, man.
You don't pay the same taxes. You wasn't lying. You wasn't lying.
It hit you, bro. Like 40%. 40% tax. Thanks, SARS.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is you know, obviously Fire Emoji was a banger.
Yeah.
Where was the video shot? Right here, a moment later.
Yeah, the video was shot in Klerksdorp. We basically had to do, you know, like a quick setup of things, you know, work on it quickly. It was a great experience as well, you know, but you gotta, the more you focus on like, you know, like this is the way to go, this is great, this is whatsoever, and you focus more on one thing. For most guys, that's where most of their careers end up dying very quick, you know. So that's why I don't even have this mindset of I have a favorite rapper or I have a favorite song, but I have favorite moments, you know. So Fire Emoji was also a great moment, and there's other moments I've had after that, but yeah, we shot it right here in Klerksdorp, and yeah, we moved from there.
And Jada got love from the streets for sure.
Yeah, Jada
got love from the streets.
Yeah, Jada got love, and Jada got international love as well. With Jada, I actually decided to do the distribution with my team on my own. So we basically pushed it the way that we pushed it. And I must say, for the first time ever being in charge of a project solely, that got me to actually make bigger numbers than any other labels that I've worked with in the past. Yeah.
And on your latest tape, actually,
Yeah.
I believe the credit is almost all you. You actually produced the whole thing. You made the whole sound. You engineered the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I love that project, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
thanks,
let's talk
man.
about some of the projects that you've done. Like, you know, you dropped Supernova most recently.
Yes.
And then before that, it was, you know, Khuma, State of Mind.
Yes.
And you know, the kind of music that you make is compelling, I must say.
Thanks, bro.
When I heard, first time I heard, now let me tell you something about, like, you know, when you've heard music for so long,
Yes.
and when your ear is on the ground, to an extent that you can actually discern what's dope and what's whack.
Yeah.
We're in a world of a million rappers right now.
Exactly.
Now, there's like gang rappers right now. But
I'm sorry, gang rappers. Look, I'm not.
Yeah.
But let me leave it alone, you know. But I know there's a lot of gangsters.
Oh yeah.
Gangster rappers.
It's a valley place to be in.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that, I don't know what the sound is like out there, moment like that, you know.
Yeah.
Got my ear on the ground, but when I came across your shit, my first, you know, thought was that, is this guy really from where he says he's from?
Yeah.
Like, he deserves to be where he's going.
Yeah.
He deserves to be, you know,
I'll tell you what.
internationally recognized.
You know, like, you'll be the first person that I can actually, I'm gonna disclose this with you right now.
Yeah?
So this is the first time you guys hear that. But, you know, a lot of people, I hear a whole lot of music and it's like, you know what, I'll do this and whatsoever. But, you know, when you just come from beating a case like I recently just did, yeah, I got charged with like an island license firearm, so got caught in Orkney, O-Town, Cell Block 3. So,
That's
anyways,
recent shit?
yeah, recent shit. But I beat the case earlier this year, so I'm hearing there's gangsters in Klerksdorp, but they look like something to eat. You know, every time I head out somewhere. And when I ask...
The music speaks for itself.
I know, bro.
I think
So
that's your way of retaliating anyway,
Yeah.
to say that this is what's real.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, like, I've been around and so forth, you know, like I stopped listening to most cats around locally. Like, rather talk to me about, you know what, I'm going to school every day. Life is hard out here. I see it for most people, you know, or rap about like, you know, I'm grinding, bro. I'm at a restaurant. I'm a waiter and so forth, you know. Or if you dealing, you know, do that, you know, get your own plug. But rap something at the end of the day that you can sit down and you have people that you can be like, look, ask them, you know what I'm saying? So as far as image and so forth, you know, it can only take you so far for you upcoming artists. As far as image, because we expect people to be about that life when we meet them, you know, and then you get some of us who are very quiet. I mean, like you see my social media space. I'm not like most guys that are blabbing about everything or possibly tweeting about every single thing. I mean, it's hard to even get my private life around there because that's what music needs and is missing a whole lot. Nobody has privacy anymore. Some of us do, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But sorry to go back into...
And what I want to know, who do you primarily make your music for, though?
Look, I stopped having this mindset of I'm doing it for the have-nots. I'm actually doing it for myself. I'll be honest with you. At this current moment as well, it's transitioning, you know. I felt like back then I had to, you know, adapt and be part of and whatsoever. Yes, I might jump off and do a mixtape like it's kind of a money story, but my true essence and my true music, my true art is in stuff like Khuma State of Mind, you know, Supernova. Yes, but if you listen to it closely, it does speak to a whole lot of guys who come from hoods like I'm from. It does speak to guys who are still going through certain things, you know, whether it's financially, whether it's being raised in a setup that I was raised from, whether it's for all the kids that people said you won't be able to amount to anything, and they still proved it to themselves, not to that other person, that they can possibly make possible things happen for them. Yeah.
And with my Deebz, what's the plan there?
Deebz, that's a party vibe. Yeah. Turn up. Anyways, with my Deebz, I partnered up with Joe Moth. Joe Moth, he's also been in the industry for quite some time as well, and he's a big boy as well. So we pushing music at the current time being, and we are now busy trying to collaborate with other people. We had a record label which we had to fall off with, but I'm not gonna talk about that because, you know, you don't badmouth where you're from, you know. As far as anything else, we pushing, you know. Pretty soon we're thinking of starting to work on visuals now and keep it going forward. But there's a lot of plans for my Deebz in the pipeline, you know. Yeah.
What plans are in the pipeline for Nizzie Nova in terms of like body, a work of body, project, album, if I can say?
Look, I'm just gonna keep pumping the streets with mixtapes, all right? The thing is, there's no pressure because you do what you want to do, and you do it for the people that keep saying, when are you dropping the next thing? When are you dropping the next thing? Now I'm keeping those people's mouths shut, you know, because it's people that actually enjoy the music. So my mixtapes have a whole lot of heart, but they are for people who actually want the music at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'm gonna focus all that super, you know, like album quality stuff with at the current moment it's gonna be like
quality.
I know, and shout out to K-Art all the way in Ukraine. Hope you're safe out there. He's one of my producers as well. Shout out to Danny Rose. He's also an international producer. Yeah, a big shout out to those guys. You know, there's a whole lot. If I didn't mention you, don't hit me up on some DM stuff like talking about I'll unfollow you. Wait a minute. I don't do that. I'll ignore you. But in any case, shout out to the guys. I have a whole lot of plans for my music as a whole collective, but it will be solely focused on mixtapes, you know. The truth is, I'm actually thinking of taking all the information and knowledge at this time and point and investing it in somebody, you know. I might, at one point, just step back, but...
From the mic?
Yeah.
From the mic?
Yeah.
And
I might, and just focus all the information that I've gained on a person or two or something like that. But as far as anything, maybe I might just keep on dropping mixtapes and so forth. But look, man, there's a lot of kids out there, and you know, you get information that you wish you could have learned way earlier, you know. And I feel I'm at that point now where if with the right person, I could literally make them a star overnight. Like, no kidding, you know, because I know where to knock and where to go and so forth. And, you know, regardless of what, a lot of people think, you know, you can do this with a viral content. Yeah, you might have 1% or 0.1%, but the thing is, all this takes time and it takes a lot of money. But once you do it and do it right, you invest it in the right places, you'll be able to make it a business, you know. Yeah.
You know, you mentioned that you don't feel any pressure in dropping music.
I mean, think about it. I step into the booth every single time, whether it's a big artist or small, and I don't even go with a pen and pad. Like, I just, whatever that goes in my mind goes out, you know. But besides that, I've been doing that for over 10 years, like not writing lyrics. So it's kind of a, you know, no pressure.
Bro.
Yeah.
You gotta die empty, fam.
I know.
You gotta let it all out.
I know, man. I know. I'm gonna start crying on these tracks one day. Go so on some Usher stuff and start shooting videos in the rain. Yeah.
So, brother, let's talk about, you know, how the pandemic actually affected everybody, and different people started finding different ways of actually expanding their, you know, streams of income.
Yeah.
And you actually found a way to actually collaborate with a couple of brands.
Yeah.
You know, can you take the viewers through, you know, some of the brand work that you did?
All right. So I worked first and foremost with Nescafe. You know, we did some brand collaboration for a time bit there, and it was a good way. I'm gonna be honest, you know, like, I never thought of myself as an influencer, though for some reason every time I did stuff with most rappers in Klerksdorp, they did the same thing, but I always wondered, like, okay, you know. We had a gig with Coca in Santon.
Wow.
There were more stuff lined up, of which at the current moment, until paperwork is done, I can't disclose what's what. You know, you have to find ways to maximize on what you have, you know, and these days the digital space is what people look at. So do what will, you know, motivate you to do more and keep bringing into the business at the end of the day. Yeah.
And how can we find you on social medias? Where can we find your music?
Look, I drop a whole lot on my YouTube channel. Just search for Nizzie Nova. On SoundCloud, I drop a whole lot of mixtapes and singles there that are not available in any other platforms. I'm there on Audio Mac as well, Nizzie Nova. You catch me on Instagram at Nizzie.nova. Not the other ones that are there. That's not me. I'm on Facebook as well as Nizzie Nova. Just hit the like button on the page. I'm not gonna accept your friend request. At least I'm being honest. And stop hitting me up on DMs talking about follow me. I don't follow people. I follow one person. Hey, babe. Anyways, so yeah, we on LinkedIn as well as Nizzie Nova Management, where we're gonna be having a whole lot of great business opportunities for people going forward in the future.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a good space to look at.
Discuss that on the part 2, maybe.
Perhaps. Yeah, let's do that. Let's you put this podcast up. Let's get people raving up. If this hits more likes than the normal podcast, then we're definitely doing a part 2 with more to reveal.
Yes, sir. So this is actually meant to be, an inspirational podcast. What would you say to the dreamers and hustlers out there?
Don't give up. Regardless of what, stay positive, focus. Go to school, guys. You need this at the end of the day, I mean, if I had to drop out and at the end of the day still go back to do my matric and so forth, I'm sure if you have the opportunity, stick to it. It's a very good long run process, and I would say to you, most importantly, keep the respect for everyone, stay humble, and be disciplined.
One time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of Stories from the World Wide Web, the World Wide Web podcast. Tuning in. We might get a part 2 from this man over here. Thank you so much for tuning in, brother man.
For sure.